Outside the Beltway, I'm John, Fredericks, live Cary, North Carolina. Great to have you with us. As always, 7 to 8 a.m. right here after Steve Gruber and on the John Fredericks Radio Network. We got Dr. Peter McCullough coming up. In the meantime, this Cheryl Levin, Rachel Levin, I'm sorry. I can't even describe it. Here she is yesterday saying that we need to, she's second in command of the White House medical team. Here's her saying, we need to empower kids to go on puberty blockers and get sex reassignment surgery. Cut 3.
So we really want to base our treatment and to affirm and to support and empower these youth, not to limit their participation in activities and sports, and even limit their ability to get gender affirmation treatment in their state.
These are the leaders of your nation. Now they want to encourage your kids to not tell you as a parent and get puberty blockers and sex reassignment surgery at 7 or 8 years old. Now, these people are certifiably insane. Joining me now is Dr. Peter McCullough. Dr. McCullough, thanks for being with us. I tell you, you look at what's going on in this nation, and now you look at this new variant, right, where she's saying, okay, we got a new variant, we need new vaxes. Now they're saying, well, the old vaxes that we told you were going to be safe and we told you they were going to be effective, well, they're not really effective against this variant, so now we need another vaccine, but we can't get it in time. So you're going to have mail-out ballots because you can't choose between voting and dying. What, Dr. McCullough, Peter McCullough, are we going to go through this again?
Yeah, it seems like we're in the midst of a series of destabilizing events, really attacks on the human body. This relatively sudden gender confusion that's come into our socio-medical domain is extraordinary. I learned today that the American Medical Association is supporting not putting gender on birth certificates. Doctors can always identify the gender at birth. In fact, it's identified in most pregnancies at ultrasound. There is no gender ambiguity in the field of medicine. And I can tell you that SARS-CoV-2, the viral infection, has become far more mild with the BA4 and BA5 Omicron subvariant. The seroprevalence levels are so high now, whether someone's taken one of the vaccines or not, it's a very mild syndrome. I haven't had a patient hospitalized in well over 6 months. It's like the common cold. People are getting through it just fine. We are having to use outpatient drug treatment occasionally. But at this point in time, any further vaccination is not medically necessary. It's not clinically indicated. The vaccines are obsolete. They are not trained against recent variants, and they're not safe. There's unacceptable numbers of deaths, injuries, disabilities, and the World Council for Health, which is a huge organization, represents 70 non-governmental organizations, on June 11th, recommended complete market withdrawal of all the vaccines.
So, Dr. McCullough, we got this new variant. I mean, couple things. I want to go back to the vaccines a second. We've had you on our show, Dr. McCullough, multiple times, as other people. We know that there is injury from these vaccines. Normally, in my time of life, where you had some drug that came out where there was a negative reaction, it got recalled, there was an investigation, it was paused. Why in this instance, it's almost like there's a cover-up going on here.
Well, you said the right word. Under court order, Pfizer had to release their regulatory documents, and Pfizer knew about 1,223 deaths within 90 days of release of their product. The FDA did not want to release that document to America for 55 years. So that's prima facie evidence the FDA is involved in a cover-up. So the FDA cannot be trusted in terms of recommending market withdrawal. Pfizer and Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, have shown no interest in a market withdrawal. Something's gone very wrong with the vaccine program. Americans know it. No one wants these products. They take them under some form of an employment or other types of mandates, and the outcomes are horrific. We know right now with the current variants, there's virtually no protection, so there's no benefit. And then patients getting heart damage, blood clots, neurologic damage, and dying a few days afterwards is making this a biological catastrophe.
So, is it money that's driving this? Is it the left-wing Marxist narrative that you have to comply with what the government says and they don't want to admit that they jumped the gun or they were wrong? What is driving this, Dr. McCullough?
I can tell you whatever's driving it's worldwide, because it's happening in every market in the world. There's 16 vaccines in development, many more in use outside the United States. So it doesn't seem to be money to a particular company or entity. There's a variety of stakeholders in Peter Bregan's book, COVID-19 and the Global Predators. There is a syndicate of predators, if you will, at the top, probably the World Economic Forum, WHO, Gavi, CEPI, the Wuhan Institute in China is playing a huge role, EcoHealth Alliance, and then our U.S. agencies, BARDA, part of the NIH, and DARPA, part of the Department of Defense, they were involved in the engineering and design of both SARS-CoV-2, the virus, and the vaccine. So this is some type of giant worldwide operation. People are trying to figure out who's at the center of it, but it's been misery for the world now since the release of the vaccines. And the best thing that could happen would be withdrawal. I think if the vaccines were taken off the market, it would be a worldwide holiday.
You know, I'm just trying to figure out, though, what the purpose of this is. You look at what China's doing with the new lockdowns and the mandatory vaccines. I mean, here's a country that has zero regard for human life, right? I mean, they've got slave labor with the Uyghurs out there. I mean, they have no regard for how many people die. They had no regard at Tiananmen Square for just gunning people down. So they have no regard for human life whatsoever. Your families are limited. If you go over the limitation, they want the babies gone. Everyone knows that. So what is that like? So somebody gets a variant, and they lock the cities down and drag people out the camps and make everybody get a vaccine. I'm just trying to figure out why. Like, why? If somebody gets sick, they get sick in China. Why this reaction? What is the reaction to COVID that's different from anything else we've ever seen?
You know, the same thing's going on in the U.S. military. Whether or not someone's had the virus or not, they're forced to take a vaccine. So behavior in America is becoming far more like China than vice versa. There seems to be elements of forced compliance, creating difficult decisions like losing your job or losing your life or getting a blood clot or heart damage. There seems to be a lot of intentional misery in this entire plan, if you will. And no one seems to understand to what end. The one thing I can tell you that's happening is large numbers of people have lost their life with the virus. Large numbers of people are losing their lives now with the vaccine. And far more people now are damaged and injured. And clearly the virus hasn't gone away. So it's almost as if it's one insult after another. Who's benefiting from this? Who's developing joy from this? John, I can't tell you. I'm just reporting the news. Fortunately, as a doctor, I'm very confident I can bring the next person through the illness. Some of these vaccine injuries, there's nothing I can do. The damage is done.
The variant that they're now claiming, Fauci got on the Sunday talk shows and made the rounds. You just heard Levine say the same thing, that there's this new variant coming. It's going to be worse than anything that we've seen. But, I mean, in my world, no one that I've talked to that has had COVID in the last 6 months was sick more than 2 or 3 days. Is there any danger at all to this, to people?
It's always been a theoretic possibility that if we vaccinate enough people, the virus will find a way to become far more pathogenic. So far, that hasn't happened. A recent paper by Kemateli and colleagues from Qatar shows once you've already had the infection, there's a 97% protection about getting from getting very sick, like being hospitalized or dying. So I think so many people now have had this graduated accumulation of natural immunity that clinically, I agree with you. I am seeing just something now that's indistinguishable from the common cold. I really wonder if we need to do any more testing for someone who's already had it once or twice and they get the next version of it. It's like a common cold.
Dr. Peter McCullough, you've really been on the front lines of doing this. You've got a new book out, Courage to Face COVID-19. Tell us about your book quickly and how people follow you on social media.
The book is available on Amazon, Courage to Face COVID-19, Preventing Hospitalizations and Deaths While Battling the Biopharmaceutical Complex, this syndicate that I described. I wrote it with best-selling author John Leake, and it is a narrative. It's an easy-to-read story. You can read it in about 2.5 hours to 3 hours, and it helps people understand that the suppression of early treatment was intentional by government agencies, hospitals, and health systems in order to set the expectation regarding acceptance of the vaccines. Everybody needs to read it and understand what's going on.
And how do they follow you, Dr. McCullough, on social media?
Well, I have a link tree, petermcculloughmd.com. That'll take you to all the other sites, but I'm very active on Twitter, P_McCulloughMD, on Instagram, and also on America Out Loud Talk Radio, McCullough Report each weekend, and then on podcast.
Dr. Peter McCullough, we always thank you for your time and for the sense of urgency that you have in trying to get to the bottom of this. And it's really looking to people now like there's a massive cover-up going on. Okay, thanks for being with us, Dr. McCullough. We're going to be right back.